Crystal clear as glass by Doric cultures. Glass was considered a luxury good along the Silk Road, and the techniques used to make it in the first century are still used today. Baghdad was the main city that made and exported glass. Baghdad exported the glass along the Silk Road. Artisans, glassblowers, and craftsmen all made glass. Glassmakers rarely worked alone. The gaffer was the leader of the glass-making team. He would shape the glass before putting it into sand to cool off. The gaffer would also blow into the glass to hollow it out and enlarge it. Glass is a very old and unique art that was a luxury good made along the Silk Road. It was blown with different colors and shapes and with many different designs and details. Glass was very breakable, so it was hard to transport it to China. When it did get to China through the Silk Road, it was very expensive. Glass products were first made in the Middle East. They then traveled both east and west along the Silk Road. Later, the knowledge of making glass spread along the trade routes as well. Glassmaking is said to have started in Persia about 3,000 years ago. The art of glassblowing developed in the Middle East at around 100 BC, but reached new heights under Islam. When the glass is molten, it can be shaped as no other material can. It can be shaped with just a puff of air. Glass was made especially in Baghdad, but was blown in both Baghdad and other Islamic cities. Glass was the main product made in Baghdad that was exported along the Silk Road. Glass was also both traded and blown along the Silk Road. To make glass, you first mix 3 basic ingredients. The 3 basic ingredients are sand, lime, and soda ash. You then heat the mixture in a furnace to about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit to melt the ingredients. The glassmaker melts the glass so that it is molten. Then the glassmaker blows a bubble into the molten glass with a blowpipe and shapes the bubble by rolling it against a flat surface. The blower or the gaffer blows into the tube and spins it at the same time. The glassmaker then adds design or detail. Transporting the fragile glass was a tricky business, so glassmakers often exported lumps of unworked glass called cullet. After the shipment, the lumps of glass were reheated, blown, or fashioned into jewelry. The same method used in the first century is still used today and will most likely be used in the future. Glass was considered a luxury good and was treated as the rarest of jewels along the Silk Road. When glass caught the light, it could flash crystal clear or sparkle with color. It was labor-intensive to craft, so glassmakers put a lot of time and effort into blowing it. Glass was also relatively light compared to gold, but it was also relatively heavy compared to silk and other cloths. Glass could still be transported in considerably large quantities, but it was hard to transport because it was so easily breakable.